Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. All right, this is going to be a deep dive into Steve Bannon because I know you're all like, we don't get enough Steve Bannon news in our lives. And there's a good reason for that. You don't want a bunch of Steve Bannon news in your lives. And you know who doesn't want Steve Bannon news in their lives more than you? You got it. That would be Steve Bannon. Multiple stories here, not the least of which is I've got something here from the Daily Beast tying Steve Bannon to fraud with a what's the guy's name? Guo Wen, a Chinese billionaire, basically, who's been defrauding people in China. He's set to go to trial in May 2024 for the fraud of We Build the Wall. He's still attempting to appeal his January 6th committee contempt case. And he's saying that Mike Johnson is not savable as the House Speaker. There's other stories, too, with Bannon about he and some guy from Newsmax were the ones who were taking credit for talking Trump out of, pulling out of the U.S. out of the Iran nuclear accords. So this little chaos agent is going to get his own special reading, and I really should go out and get my Italian deck because that's my brutal one. Folks were asking how many decks I have. I probably have like half a dozen, but I tend to use the Rider-Waite because it's the easiest for me to translate right now because I have a lot of practice with it. All right, so where do we start? Let's start with Steve Bannon and his contempt of Congress appeal. How is the energy of that going? Entertainment purposes only. This will be a long read. Feel free to go to the bathroom, sage your house before or after we're done. Do whatever it is you need to do. Pause, go make yourself a bowl of popcorn. Let's go see what's going on with Steve Bannon in his wonderful world. With the January 6th committee and his appeal, we've got the temperance card. The process is moving forward again. It's going to happen in May of 2024. It's kind of like justice is moving slowly. This is a detoxification card. Things are really charged during the January 6th committee hearing meetings. And now that he's a couple years past that, maybe he will show a little bit less passion towards it and a little more pragmatism. Two major arcana. Cross with the strength card. What's underneath it? The Knight of Swords. This case is coming quickly, and it's probably it's gonna come really quickly for Bannon. With Navarro's conviction, his case isn't as strong as he would like to think it is, and I think he's preparing himself for the bitter pill that he's going to have to swallow, that he is going to be incarcerated. Now, maybe on one hand, he realizes that Navarro's sentence was, 3 months or something like that, so it's not that big of a deal, and he'll be able to get through it, but he doesn't really have anybody to protect him now. Trump's not the president, and Trump can't pardon him from this. Now, that being said, maybe part of his strategy is to keep this thing delayed so that if Trump were to get into office, Trump can then pardon him from this. So expect that there might be delays on this one as he tries to run the clock out on it. But this case is going to come for him probably a lot faster than he's expecting. He may not, in other words, he may not be successful in his delays. In the past, we got the Six of Swords. He was convicted. He was going to be sent up the river, and he managed, he's delaying it by this appeal. But I do think, there's two people in this boat, and it's going to be him and Navarro. They're going to be going the same place for the same length of time. Current situation is the death card. It's the end of the line. After this appeal, that's it. He's done and dusted. And again, we've got three major arcana in this one. I don't think he's going to win this appeal. Navarro didn't win his. There's really no chance that Bannon is going to win his. I don't know how he would manage to pull this one out. the messaging. He's got his podcast and he still sends his messages out to folks. But I think what this is really saying is that when this case comes up in March, it's going to be decided pretty quickly. And we will hear about the decision. The lesson to be learned is the moon card. Had he just complied, using a favorite term of the Republicans, and again, another major arcana, there are still secrets and things that Bannon has not revealed and will not reveal in this appeal. Or, basically, he didn't want to go on that trial because he would have to say things or at least plead the fifth. And there are a lot of secrets that Bannon is sitting on. Is he going to offer up those secrets? I'm not getting any vibe whatsoever that he's willing to offer up those secrets to get himself a better deal. It's possible the temperance card could be discussing that. But, again, this is an appeal. If he was going to reveal secrets, he should have done it already. And this is probably going to lead to the other three things I'm going to read on with him. Outcome is the King of Wands. Judge is going to sentence him. Yeah, judge will sentence him. And he's going to get as much time, at least as much time as Navarro. So, something to look forward to in your May calendar is Steve Bannon losing his appeal and getting to go to Club Fed for a few months there and contemplate his life choices. So, that's the first one. Okay, we're 7 minutes into this video. Now the first couple of minutes were just me setting up the video. So, 1 down, 3 more to go. What's the next one? Let's talk about Steve Bannon and Mike Johnson. I'll end with the Chinese case there. Steve Bannon suggesting that Mike Johnson is not savable. It's not worth it. It's time to look for the next man up. No, it's not a woman, because this is going to continue. What I mean it's going to continue is that I don't know what he means by that. Actually, he's not happy that Mike Johnson has signed the continuation of the budgets to keep the government funded. So, is Steve Bannon pushing to get Mike Johnson removed? It sure sounds like it. But what can you tell us about Steve Bannon and Mike Johnson here? Come on down. Next, round 2. Backroom dealings. Yeah, this is messaging to allies. He's sending the message out to his listeners, but it's also the backroom dealing is going on with the Republican Party. And money, of course. And I guess this is Steve Bannon thinking, well, is this Steve Bannon or Mike Johnson? What's underneath the devil? This is Bannon. Bannon thinking he's the emperor, or the grand vizier, advising the emperor behind the scenes. Yeah, Bannon doesn't like to be up front. Now, granted, he's got a podcast and he's a mouthpiece, but he liked his role with Trump, where he gives, he and others give Trump advice, then Trump goes out and carries out his advice, right? So Trump is the front man, he's the mouthpiece, but Bannon likes being the puppet master, putting the ideas into Trump. And again, that ties into the story I'm not going to cover, but it's Bannon and some other guy claiming they convinced Trump to pull the U.S. out of the Paris Accords involving Iran. I think it's Paris Accords involving Iran and nuclear and their nuclear power plants and such. Yeah, way to go. Really made America strong. Underneath it is the devil. This is him tying himself to Trump, MAGA, Freedom Caucus, all this stuff. It's all voluntary. Everything is done in service of Trump and the whole Trump movement and the authoritarian government that would come along with it. Bannon absolutely loved being the grand vizier to Donald Trump. In the past, the 7 of Coins. Bannon basically doesn't want the government spending money on anything. He acts like it's coming out of his own frickin' pocket. And maybe he And he's got his own money things to worry about. Between all the defrauding that this guy does, yeah, he's got a worship of money, dark money, and how the government spends their money. And he doesn't like Johnson and the deals that Johnson's done and has agreed to. Basically, if I were advising Johnson, he wouldn't be doing this, but Johnson does it anyway, so he's not controllable by me, therefore he needs to go. Current situation, the Hermit, he's shining a light on Johnson, and maybe he's also shining a light as to what's going to happen with these upcoming budget negotiations that are due in the beginning of March. You know, we're already in the beginning of February. We've got about 4 weeks for Congress and the House to get their act together. And that's not the word I want to use, but I won't get bleeped for using the other word. He's basically telegraphing to Johnson, hey, look, if you don't shut the government down and do all this crazy stuff, you're gone, because I'm guiding people, like especially Trump, to move against you. The overarching energy is the Hanged Man. I don't think this is Bannon looking at things in a different light. This is the energy around Mike Johnson at this point. What is it? The Sword of Damocles? Is that the one that was hanging over the king? I'll have to look that one up. But it's Mike Johnson's in a no-win situation, and Mike Johnson understands he's in a no-win situation. If he approves the budget and keeps the government funded, the Freedom Caucus is coming for him. If he shuts the government down, the Republicans are going to get blamed for it, and then the conservatives will probably team up with the Democrats and kick him out. And if he doesn't, if he shuts the government down, at some point, the government needs to open up. Now, if for some reason the Democrats were to totally cave in and give him everything he wants, he'd probably be able to hold on to onto power. The conservatives probably wouldn't have the backbone to remove him. But I don't see that happening, because that would require the members of the GOP to actually have a spine, and the only two that apparently had a spine are no longer in Congress. And one person's name I can't say, and the other person's Adam Kinzinger. So they've got Johnson in a between a rock and a hard place here. Is Johnson going to sacrifice himself? It's decision time. Johnson's got to decide what he's going to do. Bannon's already made his decision. Now it's up to Johnson. The lesson here is, which path is Johnson going to take? Is he going to try and stay in his position where he's kind of outmatched? Or is he going to cave in and keep the government running, in which case he's likely to be removed? Outcome is the Four of Swords. Things going silent. Things going quiet. Again, Bannon's going to push for Johnson to shut the government down. Johnson, I don't think, is going to do it. I think Johnson's going to... if he does shut it down, it's for a short period of time, but the budgets get signed. To me, this is like, I signed the budgets, and now I face the consequences of it. Now, 3 would be March, when the budgets come through, and then the 4th one is the vote of no confidence that comes shortly afterwards. All in servitude of Donald John Trump. Okay, so that's him with Johnson. Basically, Bannon wants Johnson gone. Unless Johnson's willing to shut down the government and never spend another dime again, except on the American military-industrial complex. So just get rid of that Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid and welfare. Just get rid of all that stuff. I'm thinking dark thoughts. Not verbalizing them. All right. What a character that guy is. And I'm a mean character. All right, let's see. Oh, yes, Bannon. Ripping people off on the southern border. Let's take a look at that story real quick here. Build the Wall is also from May 2024. I thought that's when his appeal was. No, I guess they haven't said when his appeal was. Okay, so I get my stories crossed here. So again, I don't think he's going to get he's not going to get a positive thing on his appeal. I don't know when the appellate court is going to read on that. Let's do a quick four-cutter. Okay, doubling back. I said it was May, but when is the appellate court can actually rule on, are they going to rule on Bannon's case? And if so, when? Knight of Pentacles. Going forward with messages or values. King of Swords. King of Wands. Oh, God, these cards look familiar. I think they're looking at the merits of his case and when they need to rule on it. I thought they said they were taking it up. It's like they want to make a decision. There's action that needs to be taken. They've already put Navarro up there, and they know he's going up. King of Swords. It's not really giving me a time frame. There's not much in the way of number cards here. You got a 6 and a 7. So, or a 4, excuse me. I know my Roman numerals. Okay, so between April and June, I think, okay, probably April. I suspect they're going to take his court case up in April. So here's the court case coming up. You got the 4 is April's when the court listens to it. They listen to it. They make their decision. It's going to be a harsh decision, too. They're not going to be very kind to him. And then action's going to be taken. And then he's going to be sentenced. Either in June or he gets 6 months. Maybe both. But I expect his case is going to be heard in April. And then he's going to be assigned a prison case with those. It may be one of the things they're considering is they know he's got that May case. So can they get him on the docket before then to hear his appeal? But yeah. April through June, I suspect it's going to be April. And then by the time they've rendered their decision, sometime in the June timeframe, he's going to have to report to federal prison just in time for him in his build the wall scheme. Okay, so what do we have that one? So in this one, he duped donors who gave him money to build a wall along the U.S. southern border. The date line is in New York. Where does it say where the trial is going to be? Bannon also had pleaded not guilty last September following his indictment on state money laundering charges. Oh, this is going to be New York. So this is Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg took up this case. We'll see you back in here in May. Oh, God. All right. So now we build the wall. Let's defraud Trumpers. Good God, this guy is such a freaking crook, man. Oh, he and Roger Stone. Tell you what. All right. What's the energy around Steve Bannon and the We Build the Wall fraud case? Because you got to defraud people. You got to tell Mike Johnson what to do. You got to tell the Democrats and Congress to F all the way off. You got to defraud the Trumpsters. And then you got to defraud Chinese dissidents. Okay. May. We build the wall. What's the energy around this case? We take the money. we take the money case. We got a 7 over here. This trial might go for a couple of months as a fraud trial. 7 of coins. Yeah, there's a lot of money that these guys defrauded folks out of. It's all about the money with him. Thank you. You're wondering why I'm laughing. For me, the Page of Cups is MAGA. It's QAnon type stuff. So it's them defrauding the Trumpers, the QAnon believers, the MAGA crowd. And there's celebration underneath here. Certainly, he had their trust and he bilked them. I really think that what this means is he's going to be convicted. He's going to get convicted on this one. The case is not looking good against him. Oh, there's your wall. 10 of Wands. It's a burden. I think in this case, he got indicted in September or October, in the fall. And I think what the government has is a really strong case against him. And the burden of proof is, it's on the state to prove it, but I think they've got all the receipts that they need to prove this case. Bannon is in trouble with this case. Current situation is the Seven of Wands. I don't think this is Bannon fighting off the charges in this case. What I think you've got here is Bannon having to fight multiple battles in multiple court cases. Because, if you look at the court cases, you've got Congress, you've got the Build the Wall case, which is this one, and then you've got his association with the Chinese billionaire who's been bilking Chinese citizens out of their money as part of a crypto scheme and stuff like that. So Bannon's got also, and there could be other legal stuff Bannon's got to face too. So Bannon's got all these legal cases like Trump that he's fighting off. And we got the Three of Cups, the celebration. This could be convictions on at least 3 of them. And he's going to be held to account for failure to obey the subpoena in Congress. And he's already lost that case and he's under appeal. I think this Build the Wall case is going to be the second of those cups. And we'll see what the third one is, if it's the bilking of folks out. But yeah, he's in trouble. He's in big trouble. And he did it to himself. This is just, you play with fire, you're going to get burned. You could say that this case isn't resolved yet. Maybe he, I'm not seeing any flipping cards here. But if Bannon wants to minimize his prison time, he might start talking with the feds about this. Now, mind you, this is a New York case, which is not going to impact federal things. But if he works with New York on this one and gives money over to the feds, maybe the feds in New York come up with a deal. I don't know. But I think basically this is his karma. He effed around. He's now finding out. The lesson to be learned is, he could be working and making his money. He chose to steal other people's hard-earned money. This is a finance case. There's going to be records. There's going to be emails. There's going to be documentation. It's just going to show that he's been stealing money under this. And he got greedy. He wants to be an influencer, the Grand Vizier, but he wants to be a wealthy Grand Vizier. That's interesting, because that was the same card that came up under the appeal. The outcome was the Knight of Swords. Yeah, I think the conviction's going to come hard and fast for him, and it's going to come on the heels of him being losing his appeal. So I think he loses his appeal. He's going to prison, federal prison for that. And while he's in federal prison, he's also going through this trial. Now, it could be they halt the federal... I don't know if they'll halt the federal prison appeal. Or maybe the federal prison appeal waits for this decision before they make their decision. But Steve Bannon's going to be serving prison time. And it's not going to be consecutive. Or I should say it shouldn't be concurrent. It should be consecutive, because you have state crimes and federal crimes. And I would make him serve both. Don't give him consecutive. That's not the way to do it. He might be in federal prison while he's going to court for his state crimes. Let's ask, right? Let's get all gossipy. Will Steve Bannon be in federal prison? This is where things get really specific, right? And then he can chalk up a win or a loss here. For accurately predicting and ignoring free will and all that stuff. But will Steve Bannon actually be in prison, federal prison, while he is going through his fraud for the wall, the We Build the Wall campaign in New York? Will he be serving time in federal prison while this is happening? A little fork, Carter? Should give us our answer. The Fool. Is that a yes? Possibly. Or he could be getting ready to go to prison. You got the Nine of Coins, the Page of Pentacles, the Hermit, the Queen of Swords. If he's not, he's gonna wish he was. I was talking about concurrent versus consecutive. They're going to be consecutive sentences. It could very well be that. Yeah, we know you have this court case, but screw you. Sorry, this is not the card you want underneath it, because this is a harshness. This is it's going to be really difficult for you to defend your message while you're in prison. But guess what? You're going to be in prison. Good luck with that. If he hadn't appealed, he would have already served his prison sentence and been out. And then he could focus his efforts on this new case. In this case, I really do think he's going to be in prison, and he's going to have to, try and defend this case. It's going to cost him a lot of money. These cases are costing him a lot of money, just like Trump. And this is kind of like you effed around and you found out. We'll let you wear your nice clothes. You don't have to wear a prison jumpsuit. I think he's going to be in prison. I think he will have lost his appeal. He will have had to report to prison at some point, and he's going to have to shuffle between the federal penitentiary and the court cases. We'll see how that works out. And maybe that's just something that the appeals court and such, maybe there's an appeal that could you at least delay that until after this court case. And maybe they delay it. Maybe they say, okay, fine, you can go in June. You can go in July. Type of thing. He will lose his appeal. He will serve prison. And I do not believe it's going to be concurrent. I believe it's going to be consecutive. And even if he's convicted in the We Build the Wall, likely he's going to try and appeal it. So it won't matter if he's in prison or not. He will serve the federal sentence, because it wouldn't be concurrent, because he's going to be appealing it. All right, lastly, crypto. Chinese billionaires in crypto. Does Steve Bannon actually have liability and exposure in this Chinese billionaire crypto bilking Chinese dissidents out of their money? Well, I'd say that's a pretty big yes card. Hooray, there's your number 3 for the 3 of Cups. Yeah, he does. He does. It's almost like Bannon is the type of person that looks for big reward with little risk. And I don't know if it's an arrogance on his part, but it's like he likes bilking families. With the We Build the Wall, he just bilked folks that would be in his family, the MAGA folks and the Trumpsters. With Congress, he felt like Trump was going to protect him. And he had some big case. And it's likely because he doesn't want to reveal what he knows. And this is that third one. This is bad. The amount of money that was stolen or fraudulently taken from these people is a large amount. And there's just theft right there. Yeah, he absolutely had a part in it, because basically he didn't think he'd be caught. Chinese dissidents, Chinese billionaire, there's all sorts of power in there. He's a small player in this one who's going to get a lot of money, relatively speaking. He didn't think he was going to get caught. Oh, that's a bummer. Well, either he's going to flip, or somebody has flipped on him. There's a spy in the camp. Now, this could just be that he's kind of stupid when it comes to fraud, because he always thinks he's going to get away with it. Or there's somebody in this case that ratted him out. Or he's ratting people out. I don't know why well, it depends on how big the case is, right? He doesn't appear that he's ratted anybody else out. I don't know why he would start with this one, other than it's a Chinese guy. Maybe he doesn't care. In the past, we got the Two of Wands. Yeah, I think, to me, this is like, he was, again, Grand Vizier. He was in the planning stages of this fraud. This guy Miles, who did the billionaire, did most of the fraudulent work. He was kind of the lead person, but Bannon was kind of one of the plotters. It's basically a conspiracy case, and Bannon's involved in the conspiracy. Current situation is the Three of Pentacles. Yep. This is kind of like, it's crypto. It's, talking with people behind the scenes on how to make a lot of money underhandedly, and nobody's going to get caught and everything's going to be fine. But it's just a total con job. Yeah, because and like I said, total con job. It's an illusion. It was all an illusion. It was all a lie. It was all to bilk these people out of money. Why do billionaires need to bilk people out of money? Probably because he wasn't going to be a billionaire, this other guy, if he wasn't bilking people out of money. Again, it's just one of those things that we're not going to get caught. We're going to get away with this. This is like taking candy away from a baby type of thing. Heartbreak and betrayal. Yeah, defrauding people is a bad thing. It is absolutely a bad thing. And now the problem that Bannon's going to run into with this is you're looking at hitching your wagon up to a billionaire who's defrauding people out of billions of dollars. Who's got the deeper pockets? If Bannon probably has quite a bit of money on his own right because it looks like he does a lot of underhanded BS. But billionaires have even more money at their hands. And if they want to say, it wasn't my idea, it was Bannon's, what's Bannon going to do to defend himself? I'd like to think that this betrayal is betraying Chinese citizens, but this could also be the no honor amongst thieves. The outcome is the Seven of Wands. Yeah, with this case, Bannon's going to be fighting it. This is the card that came up with the Three of Cups. Yeah, this is going to be that third cup. The Page of Swords, again, there could be a spy in the camp that's turned evidence, or it could just simply be that Bannon, in this case, was out of his league. And I think that's probably more it. This case was such a big fraud that Bannon was out of his league, and he's now committing crimes with the big boys, with the elites. And the elites like people to fall on the swords for them, not the other way around. Okay. Will Bannon face prison time as a result of this last case? If so, how much? Told you it was going to be a deep dive. We're 32 minutes into this. Okay, will Bannon face prison time for his role in defrauding Chinese dissidents out of a bunch of money with crypto? Oh, I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think that means, Steve Bannon, you pile of human refuse? Yeah, 8 years. It's going to be a fast judgment, and I think he's going to get 8 years for this one. Let's see. Bilking these people out of their money, bad choice. And I think he's going to be paying big fines for his role in this. Assuming that he got money from this, he will be, he's going to pay, he's paying a price for this one. I do think this is just ripping people off here, but I also think he's going to face fines for it. Knight of Wands, he'll appeal it. He's going to appeal it, trying to delay or get the sentence reduced. Ain't gonna work. Is not gonna work. This is a harsh sentence. Don't expect that you're gonna get 8 years of probation and house arrest. No. This is gonna be a state pen for that one. Lesson to be learned is the Page of Swords. I'm giggling because it's like spy in the camp. Out of his league, or is he going to try and represent himself, save money? I think he's out of his league. He is just I was saying, this could be spy in the camp. This isn't the spy in the camp turning on him. This is just, you are out of your league, you're out of your element, and you're playing with the big boys, and now you're gonna pay the price for what you did. This Knight of Wands is, I think, also showing his role in the planning and execution of it. Seven of Coins. He's going to be paying fines. I think he's going to have enough time to contemplate his life choices and his values. He will have plenty of time to contemplate his life choices and values. Because he has no integrity. He's delusional. He doesn't think things apply to him. And this is going to be a wake-up call for him. Now, I will leave all my prison jokes aside because they tend to trigger people. But he will have plenty of time to contemplate his misdeeds while in prison. Steve frickin' Bannon. Anything else with him that we want to cover? No, I was going to ask what the spiritual lesson is, but I don't care. I don't care. Well, fine, let's do it. What's a spiritual lesson? Yeah, I really don't care. See, that's the part where it's like, I don't care, screw that guy. It's like, we should care. He's a human being. He's a soul. He's one of God's. He's got the God particle in him. I'm sure on the other side, he's quite the lovely person who's just chosen a bad guy role in this lifetime to help us learn lessons. What's the lesson he's supposed to learn? Two of Wands. Probably your thoughts in words can lead to action, and those actions could lead to consequences. Yeah, there's your consequences. Just because you're not directly involved doesn't mean that you don't face the nightmare of your decisions. Your words have meaning and have power. And they have consequences. And sometimes those consequences can lead to consequences to you, even if you don't think that your thoughts and ideas can cause other people turmoil, even if you're not directly impacted. But you will be directly impacted with it. You will face consequences for it. This is kind of like this is the ripple effect card. You throw that out there, and you've got calm water, and you've got the rough seas. It goes out into calm water, but it's going to come back as rough seas right back to you. Your words have power and meaning. It impacts other people, which means it's going to impact you. And you manifest it. You've manifested this, and these are the consequences of it. So, personal accountability and the power of words and ideas and how they manifest. So, great lesson for him to learn. Great lesson for all of us to learn. I'm so glad I looked. Anyways, 38 minutes. It's time to call it. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. Thank you for all your kind words and your shares and your likes and everything you do to help feed the YouTube algorithm so my videos make it out to a wider audience, to folks just recently subscribing to the channel. And there are many of you. Welcome. Glad you found us. Hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next reading. Take care.